welcome to Quick Tip with Joy. Today I'm going to be sharing how to center your word on a label, for example. So a lot of people have the issue that they may have a label that is like this big. Let's pretend this is our label. And what they're doing is they're trying to write the word vintage. So they're like, oh, I start out and then I'm like VINTA. Oh, I don't have enough room. And they either try to do this or they put a heart in or, they do something. Or they're like, here's our second label example. They're trying to say, I need to put vintage. Well, they started over here and they're going like this. And it's like, I ran out of room. So now everything's squished over there in the corner. Have you guys done that? Me too. Here's my cure. I want the word vintage. This is the size of my label. Pretty much now, and if you need to, you could make a little guide where you're like writing it. I wouldn't, use pen. I would use pencil to make a guide because you could erase it, but I wouldn't do it. I would just eyeball. But if you need to, there's a guide, and then you would know that vintage needs to go in here, and you could kind of judge it. So I've stayed within this part and that part and about even there and about even there. But if you don't want to, mark it off like such, what you would do is, no matter how big your label, if your label's this big and you're just wanting to center it, just write it on a piece of paper the way you normally write. And then you look at your label and say, is that about what I want? Boy, that's a lot of space on each side. Maybe it's not. Maybe I do want a little bit bigger. Then go back and do it again a little bit bigger. And then lay your label down and say, okay, I can live with that. That's pretty good. So then after you have an example, it's so much easier when your label is directly below where each letter needs to go. So I'm eyeballing. I centered it up. See, it's centered from, here to there. I've centered it up, and then I know where I need to start with my V. This is your handwriting, so it's easier than trying to do it with, when somebody else has written it. So I'm starting with my V. Don't get any taller. The letters, don't make them lengthier. And then you're going to try to stay. See how I'm trying? I'm eyeballing. I'm looking up here. I'm looking down here. I'm up here. I'm down here. And then, oops, and I messed it up, but it's fine. And I still have a little bit left over. But you're not going to be perfect every time. You're going to have to try it, and it does, you're doing your best. So here I know this is my center. I need to make it bigger. This is a bigger label. Let's go bigger. Let's say my word is going, well, let's just stick with vintage, but I do need it to be bigger. And that looks kind of dumb, but I'm not putting it on there yet. So I'm going to line that up. Is the height about right? Yes. Put it there and start about here. And you know how I get quiet. But that's pretty centered. And you can always, like if there's something that's specifically made, like you have a label and it's made like such, and it has like the corners off of it, so you can't give. I'm just using this as an example. You really don't want it to be, and of course I didn't do so well. You don't want it to be off from that. Then you would kind of just gauge it, like, let me put it down here. But that's the idea. So I need it to be right there. I might need to make it a teeny bit smaller. Let's go smaller. How's that look? Pretty good? Yes. So holding it down, I'm looking up and down while I'm feeding it along, and that's not too bad. There you go. It's crooked this way, but that's not too bad. Anyway, that's just an exercise that you can use to make your labels just a little bit better, try and see what you can do. I hope you like this tip. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Please share it if you liked it. And if you'd like to see more from me, I would appreciate, you don't have to, you subscribe. You don't have to watch me after you subscribe. I'd like your subscription though. Anyway, but if you do want to see more from me, subscribe and ring the bell. The bell will get you notifications of when I have added a new video. As for today, remember your day is full of choices, so choose joy. Have a wonderful day, guys.